Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting out war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer 40,000, and today we're going to take a look at the Blood Angels, and in particular their Combat Patrol box set. Now in this video we're going to go through the contents of the Combat Patrol box set, talk a little bit about all the units that come inside it, and indeed how we can build up these units if we do have multiple options or different weapon options for these units as well. And after that we're going to take a look at a couple of extra units we can use to expand upon this initial purchase. We'll then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own army of the Blood Angels for the Space Marines in Warhammer 40,000 10th edition. And so, to begin with, for our force, we get a character inside this box set which is a Primaris Librarian. The Primaris Librarian doesn't have too many different options. You are going to get access to some psychic powers in a couple of different ways. First of all, you've got Smite at range, which can be either a nice D6 Smite version, which is its Witchfire with 3+ to hit, strength 5 minus 1 AP, damage D3, or you can give it the Devastating Wounds ability on top of that as well, but you will gain Hazardous as well, and pump up to your strength 6 minus 2 AP with the same damage as well. Now, you also have a couple of other rules where you've got the abilities of Psychic Hood. You get a Feel No Pain 4+ against any psychic attacks coming into you, and Mental Fortress means a unit led by this model will have an invuln of 4+ as well. This model can lead a variety of different units from your Assault Intercessors, Desolation, Hellblaster, Infernus, Intercessor, and Sternguard Veteran squads. Now the next unit we get in this is we get 5 Intercessors, one of the many units that our Librarian can lead. Intercessors are pretty much our stock standard Primaris Space Marines. They've got a cool ability called Objective Secured, where if they control an objective, then they'll keep it in your control until your opponent decides to try and take it off you, which is really nice. This is generally called Sticky Objectives in the community, and is super powerful, allowing you to move around the table with these models after you've already claimed objectives. We then get 5 Incursors, which can also be built as Infiltrators as well. Incursors themselves have a cool rule where called Multi-Spectrum Array. In your shooting phase, after this unit shot, you select an enemy unit that was hit by one or more attacks made by this unit, so just hit, doesn't have to be wounded. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit makes an attack that targets the enemy unit, you've effectively lit them up, and they can now get a bonus of +1 to hit. You also got the option for a Haywire Mine in this unit, where once per battle at the start of any phase, if there's an enemy unit within 3 inches of the bearer, on a 2+, they suffer D3 mortal wounds. However, if it's a vehicle, it is 2d3 mortal wounds. The other option we have to build these particular models in is the Infiltrator squad. Now the Infiltrators, as their name suggests, they will get the core rule of Infiltrators, which is really nice, allowing them to deploy further up the table, which is cool. We've also got Omni Scramblers, where enemy units can't be set up within 12 inches of them as well if they're arriving to the battlefield as part of reinforcements. You've also got the Helix Gauntlet, which can give you a Feel No Pain 6+ on the unit, or the Infiltrator Comms Array, where you can perfectly refund stratagems points and those CP spent for using them if you're using them on this particular unit. Now we then get 3 Aggressors, which are another unit we have. They're in Gravis armor, so they're going to be pretty tanky with a toughness of 6 and 3 wounds per model. You've got 2 main weapon options. You can either go with your Flamestorm Gauntlets, which give you a strength 4 Torrent Twin Linked weapon that ignores cover, or you can go with the Auto Boltstorm Gauntlets, which will also give you the Fragstorm Grenade Launchers, longer range, but they're not going to put out any of the Twin Linked or ignores cover rules there. Now, melee weapons, doesn't really matter what you go, you're going to have the Power Fist in combat, as all these weapons on the gauntlets still count as Power Fist, which is nice. Strength 8, minus 2 AP, damage 2, with the Twin Linked rule as well for rerolls of the wounds. You've also got the Close Quarters Firepower, where if you're ever attacking the closest unit to you, you can improve your AP by 1, so pretty nice there if you can get those flamers into a good range. The last model we have inside this kit is an Impulsor, perfect for our Primaris Librarian and the Intercessors we have here. An Impulsor is your standard sort of Space Marine transport, can transport up to 6 Primaris models in it, though it can't transport any of the larger models, so can't transport things like your Gravis armor, like the ones we have in here in the Aggressors. You can also have an Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, Fragstorm Grenade Launchers, and you've got a variety of different upgrades, where my favourite still is the Shield Dome to give you an invulnerable save on your transport. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, looking at where to go next, for me the first place to look is something in Phobos armor to help those Incursors or Infiltrators, whatever you've decided to build. And for me, it is the Lieutenant in Phobos armor I like. Now I've got the picture of the Captain here because you could certainly use this model as your Lieutenant if you want. The Lieutenant does come inside particular kits and isn't available separately at current, but I think you could easily just get away with using this Captain here instead. And so you've got a couple of special rules here where he's leading a unit, which are going to be super nice. So this model can be attached to any of the Incursor, Infiltrator or Reaver units you've got. You've got the ability of Tactical Precision where you'll give lethal hits to the unit it joins, and you've also got Shoot and Fade where after this unit's shot in the shooting phase, if it's not within engagement range of any enemy units, it can then make a move of D6. This is super powerful, allows you to go back into cover, allows you to potentially bring your unit out of effective range of charges and stuff like that. You've also got the Deep Strike, Infiltrators, Leader and Scouts rule on this model as well, which is nice to go along with the other models in the unit. Now the next thing to look at for the Blood Angels is of course the different Dreadnoughts. The Death Company Dreadnought I think is absolutely amazing, some really cool abilities. Black Rage does have a little bit of a negative ability where it can't fall back and its objective control is 0 instead of 3 if there's no chaplain in your force, but that's not really an issue because this thing with Frenzied Reprisal, where anytime it is attacked after this unit has finished making all its attacks, you can either shoot as if it was a shooting phase or fight as if it were the fight phase, which is really cool. So every time your opponent touches it, it hits them back in some way. This is a particular reason I like not going with the Blood Talons on it, because you can get, you know, your shooting weapons then on your Furioso Fist with heavy flamers and melty guns, and which is really nice. You've also got a Field Plane 6+ on the model as well, which is pretty sweet for a Dreadnought. Now we then have the stock standard Furioso Dreadnought, which again has Furioso Fist, which are a really nice sort of Dreadnought power fist. You've then got the Wrathful Rampage, where each time this model is selected to fight, you potentially can do some mortal wounds with it as well. Now lastly, for our Dreadnoughts here, we have the Librarian Dreadnought, which is super cool because first of all, it is a psychic Dreadnought, which is just amazing. You have Shield of Sanguinius, where while the friendly Adeptus Astartes units within 6 inches of this model, you have Feel No Pain 5+ against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. And Wings of Sanguinius, you can give some extra movement to units around you as well. Ranged weapon wise, you've got the option for your Blood Lance, which is really cool. It can be damage D6 + 3 with sustained hits D3, though it does gain hazardous when it chooses to use this particular profile. It can also have things like heavy flamers and melter guns on it as well. And then you've also got its melee weapons, where it does have a Furioso Force Halberd, which has the extra attacks rule, so you do get to make an extra attack with this every time for a D6 + 3 damage, attack at strength 9 -3 AP. And so here we have our sample army for the Space Marines of the Blood Angels. Now we're going with the detachment Sons of Sanguinius. We can go for the regular Space Marine detachment if we want to as well, but we've got the Blood Angel one here. We've got a Primaris Librarian who'll be our Warlord, and we've also just chucked an enhancement on there. We had 10 points spare with this list, so why not chuck the Icon of the Angel? It can only be given to an Adeptus Astartes model, but each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters or vehicles, within engagement range of the bearer is selected to fall back, they have to make a desperate escape test as if they were battle shocked, and when doing so, if the enemy unit is also battle shocked by other means, you subtract 1 from those desperate escape tests as well. So pretty cool to try and lock your opponent down. You know, it's an extra spare 10 points, so why not have it in there? Lieutenant in Phobos armor then rounds out our characters and battle line. We've just got the 5 Intercessors in there with an Astartes grenade launcher and a Hand Flamer and power weapon, which is really cool. Hand Flamer is becoming access because we're playing Blood Angels. We then go down Cursor Squad, which we pumped up to 10 models in there and put the Haywire Mine in the unit. We have our Aggressors with Flamestorm Gauntlets, and then our Impulsor, which has got the Iron Hail Heavy Stubber, 2 Fragstorm grenade launchers, and the Shield Dome on it as well. Lastly, for other vehicles, we have a Death Company Dreadnought with twin Furioso Fist, Melty Gun and Heavy Flamer, and the Magna Grapple on them, and a Librarian Dreadnought with Melty Gun as well for a perfect 1000 points of Blood Angels for Warhammer 40k 10th edition. If you've been playing some games with your Blood Angels, if you've got some ideas on how you'd expand yourself on the Combat Patrol box set, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to come chat more with me, we have a Discord server for the channel, and that is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. This is either via Patreon or YouTube members using one of our affiliate links and codes down there, like Baron of Dice, Gap Games, or Mithras Games, or by supporting us directly on Patreon or YouTube members. If you'd like to do any of those, we have links for that all in the description. And as a special thank you to our Patrons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Soren, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Q Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallers, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And our YouTube members, Greenridge Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, and John Castle. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Once again, everyone, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.